in community practice, it's more about the net profit. And the bottom line is the net profit. But then there is the human resource. The human resource is what makes you have a better net profit. The human resource starts with the manager, the proprietor, the owner of the practice. It starts with the owner of the business. And then there is the social responsibility, which is touching on the people who are recipients of our professional services, are recipients of the medicines that we dispense, and also people in the community where we live. So these three things are valid in all areas of our practice. So it's important that as pharmacists, that we continue to learn to feed into these three different arms to assure a good triple bottom line. And with that, I will hand over to Samson, who will introduce himself. Samson is a schoolmate. We went to pharmacy school together, and he's very active on the global virtual space I talked about. And I noticed that, and I said, oh, this is brilliant. It's a pharmacist doing this. So over to you, Francis.
Thank you very much, my brother, my friend, my colleague, Emmanuel Umfo. My name is Samson Emelike. I'm an Igbo from Nigeria. And like my friend has said, we schooled together in Jos, and we came out together as pharmacists. And since then, somehow we lost touch. And then somehow we got back again. And it was a very lovely time. And I thank God that we got back, because getting back together has also produced what we are here today to witness. As a pharmacist, I would just like to give us a very brief background of what I do. When we graduated in 1996, I came back to Benue State. We schooled in Plateau, Jos, some hours drive from Benue. My parents were in Benue. Everyone was in Benue. I was the first of 5 children, so all eyes were on me. My parents trained me with difficulty. So but when I came back from school after my internship and my service, I longed to go back to school. But the state where we were based, there was no school of pharmacy. The closest school of pharmacy was another one in Enugu State, which is also about 3-4 hours drive. When I made the application for admission, I was granted, but I was also told that it's a full time, that which meant I needed to be on ground. I didn't have the money to fund that course. I was hoping that while working, I will also fund it, but they told me it's full time. So I lost that admission. I couldn't leave my place. I couldn't go. Now, I continued searching. I couldn't get anywhere because of these limitations set by distance and lack of several opportunities. So I got a job that took me to Kano. That's about 8 hours drive. And there in 2005, I launched out again in search of education to further my education. I was so ambitious that I said, whatever that will give me a higher degree, I will go for that. So I went for MBA. They said I had to go through postgraduate diploma because since my background was pure science. And then there, my friend said, why not go for development studies, masters in development studies? Because my mind was going towards development sector to go and work for development organizations. So I went for the masters in development studies. But again, I was denied, saying because I had pure sciences background, I needed to go for postgraduate diploma, which I enrolled and graduated. I applied for the upgrade to masters. I was denied because I didn't come from that state. So they were giving it quota by quota. Again, this was a very big blow on my ambition. Not until 2009, 2010, when I got transferred to Borno State, Maiduguri. That is where the heart of Boko Haram insurgency is currently. But as at then, it didn't happen. Okay, so I went to University of Maiduguri luckily enough, they had a master's in public health. I was so happy, I was so excited. I enrolled, I started my program. And then 1 month to the exam, the first semester exam, the insurgency became so great that the organization that I worked for evacuated all staff away from Borno. Again, I lost that admission, I lost the money I paid, and I was back to square one. So when I came to Kano, I enrolled into an online learning platform, University of Walden. I'm sure most of you may have heard that, but it was very expensive. It provided for me what I needed to forge ahead, taking away the limitations of distance, taking away the limitations that you have when you want to look for options. I started that, but I couldn't continue. Why? Because of the costs. I enrolled into another university online and I finished it. And then I beat my chest and said, I want to set up something for the Africans that will make them not to pass through the difficulties I've passed through. So I formed e-learning hub, Havron e-learning hub. And we have the focus of one, it has to be an e-learning hub. It has to be an opportunity to scale down the costs of education. All right, so this is the background of what I am going to present to us this afternoon. And I will quickly rush into it now so that we can make for speed. So what I have been asked to discuss, like I was made to understand, you all are discussing the pandemic challenges and the opportunities that are there for pharmacists. And for me, what I will be looking at as a sub-team is remaining relevant as pharmacists in our uncertain world. Now, the presentation outline is going to be like this. What are the objectives that we hope to achieve? Well, we look at the background and challenges imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. We look at learning as the only option to remain relevant. Then we will introduce Havron e-learning hub that creates that bridge. Now, let's look at our objectives. One, we want to explore the challenges brought about by the pandemic and the opportunities in them. We want to steer the passion of pharmacists to embrace upskilling as the only option to remain relevant in this new normal. And then we'll introduce Havron e-learning hub as the online platform solution for flexible upskilling in the futuristic virtual world. Now let's look at the background and the challenges imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. It has caused a huge disruptions in all spheres of endeavor. It is anyone that has come of age is not to be told the story of this COVID-19 pandemic and the disruptions it has caused the world. Not even the most developed worlds were spared. And as we speak, every one of us, we are just gathering our pieces together to see how we can survive. Some of the challenges imposed by COVID-19 pandemic, like we say, the cost across all spheres of human endeavor. It has health implications. It has impacts on economic activities, health programs implementation. I remember just before the COVID-19, I was gathering the CVs of some professionals for a contract, a consultancy work with UNICEF. And then COVID-19 came and that stalled it. They didn't even mention it. Nobody said anything again. And that was how it died down. We also have impacts on social system, impacts on our education, impacts on transportation, both air routes, sea and rail. It also has a great impact on our governance and impacted on our job rules. Now, adjusting to this, the consequences of these impacts, they have become the traits that are indispensable if we must continue to live in the world that we have found ourselves in. And we know that only those who change with the tides of the pandemic will remain relevant in their respective domains. Now let's look at learning as the only option to remain relevant. The key to remaining relevant is learning, because when you learn, you acquire what gives you a value. You acquire what puts you on edge. You acquire what people will look up to you to deliver to them. Now, we need to learn how the pandemic is changing, because what we know about the pandemic yesterday will be different from what we learned today. So it's changing. Even the knowledge about the pandemic is changing. So we need to learn how it is changing. We also need to learn how the pandemic is changing our own systems. What was in place 2 years ago isn't what it is right now. Learning how to change, to adapt to the changing norms. Now, I don't know how the seating arrangement in Cameroon is. I don't know how government is taking the issue of wearing masks, but that has not been our norm for the past years. But now, if it is becoming part of our system, we need to change to adapt to that system. We also need to learn what is required to remain relevant. We need to learn what is relevant in the new world system. What was obtainable before is no longer obtainable in this system. New things are coming. We also need to learn what form of learning best fits the era that we are in now. Now, before we continue, I'd just like to give us some beautiful quotes about learning and education. Nelson Mandela, of blessed memory, he said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. There's an African proverb that says, not to know is bad. Not to wish to know is worse. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but then nothing can be changed until it is faced. We know that leaders are readers, even though that not all that read lead. But if you must lead in this era that we are in, you must be a reader. And when you read, you learn. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether that person is 20 or 80. And to stop reading is to start dying. Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought with ardor and attended to with diligence. The only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. Anyone who isn't embarrassed of who they were last year probably isn't learning enough. Online learning presents the most suitable form of learning, as it gives the comfort and flexibility needed to fit into the new era. Now, let's look at the other name, is a synonym, e-learning. And this is the learning that is conducted via the internet. Now, let's look at some of the advantages or the benefits of learning online. It costs less expensive, less intense. It is easy to attend. When you need to make certain attendance, you can actually and easily attend to it. It enhances self-discipline and time management skills. It grants more access to faculty teachers. Briefly, let me just expatiate on this. If it were to be a physical learning, you want to meet your teacher, HOD, exam teacher, and you go to the office, he is not there. You are either forced to sit down waiting for him or her. But if it were online, all you needed to do, script whatever discussion you want to have, send it by email or by chat. And at the right time, he will sit down, compose well-structured response to you, and you can get that at the comfort of your home. So it gives you more access to faculty and teachers. It also eliminates the limitations set by location, as we just saw in my story. If you can do that at the comfort of your home with the lot of flexibility that it has, it offers variety of options. It offers the possibility of less distraction. I tell you, if you are sitting in a room together with a colleague or somebody else who may have either mouth odor or body odor, you are sitting and you are just realizing that that odor or whatever the person is doing will cause distraction. But with online learning, that is not to be. You can't experience that because you are at the comfort of your home. And it is very, very flexible, as you can keep your job with it. Working from home or learning from home. It does not interfere with your job. The physical one interfered with my own job, which made me to lose that opportunity of getting my degree. Flexible to fit into our daily routine, you can set your learning pace, especially those ones that are self-paced. And then it provides opportunity to learn new tech skills. There are some of us who just got to know about Zoom, about virtual meetings, only because it has become necessary. So these are some of the things that come with it. Now, I want to briefly introduce us to Havron e-learning hub. This is an e-learning platform, and is the learning platform or the arm of Havron Professional and Educational Services Limited. These are both registered companies here in Nigeria, and it was founded out of passion and desire to save other Africans from experiencing the agony of the privatization that the founder experienced, like I said in my story. Now, our mission and vision are founded on two pillars. Now, the first one is we understand e-learning as the future of education, and the cost of e-learning can actually be scaled down with the right strategies. These are the two pillars that addresses those challenges that I experienced. Now, let's look at what our vision is. We want to be the leading e-learning hub in Africa, serving the underserved. Anyone who desires to move forward to upskill and is unable to do so is underserved. Okay, sorry, I just have somebody is sending a chat. I don't know if you're not seeing the video. There is no listing over here. I think if you should be able to see the video going on. Okay, so that is our vision. Now, our mission is to bridge the skills gap in Africa through online learning programs and career pathways. We do not only represent international universities, we do not only represent accreditation bodies across the globe, but we also provide career pathways. People want to move from one job to the other. People want to progress on the career ladder. We also see to that by reason of the programs that we provide. Now, we have strategy to help us achieve our mission. We have the number, which is our strength. What we do is we use our strength, our strategy, to negotiate for downward fee review. We meet the university. You are offering this course, for instance, at $2,500. I have a good number of participants who are willing to come on board. But if you reduce it down, they will come on board. And then, because the university sees that we have the number, they say, okay, let's give you at 2,000. We have the number, so we can negotiate. And we say, no, 2,000 is still expensive. Give it to us at 1,500. We'll give you the number. The university accepts. And what they offer to others is 2,500 naira, $500. But those coming through Havron will enjoy that rate at 1,500. That is what happens in all the universities that we represent. So that is our strategy, and it's a win-win situation. The university is happy that we are bringing a good number of them, of our candidates to them. Our students are happy going through us because they are accessing these good programs at a less fee. Now, our catalog of programs cut across almost all the spheres of cadres of certification and learning. We have professional development courses. We have basic life skills certification. We have diplomas, postgraduate diploma, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhD programs in all fields. Now, our partners include University of Washington, UNICAF organization, James Lind Institute, Empower School of Health, Texila American University, Nexus International University, And it's good for us to know that any university or institution that we are partnering with must be globally recognized. We search the World Higher Education database. Once they are listed there, we go into business with them. So what the certificates that come from us is something that you can beat your chest and say, yes, worldwide, they are acceptable. Havron, within us, we have our in-house capacity building programs that we have developed to enhance professionals in increasing their productivity. So we have Microsoft Excel. These are tutorials, face-on-face, I mean, face-to-face, one-on-one or in a group to enforce learning and skill acquisition. So these are the things that we provide in-house, and they are all available. Now, sorry, this large one is something that we are working on. And by next week, we'll be launching out our first range of soft skills, ranging from, we have several of them, and we have spent so much money because we believe that people need this. It is, I don't know if you know Bishop David Oyedepo of Living Faith Church. He said there is no mountain anywhere. Every man's ignorance is his mountain. So you see that a lot of things that we suffer from is as a result of ignorance. And so we are using our platform to cut ignorance, to empower people to get to know, to get to acquire, that they can become relevant in what they do. So I would like to give us some of the free websites that you can go and visit and learn. www.edx.org. This is futurelearning.com, Coursera.org. Now, there are several other ones. These are the ones that I have used. Of course, there are other ones that I've used, but these are the few ones that I have put up here. You can learn from these websites. However, when you need their certificates, you need to pay for them. But for you to acquire the skill, the knowledge, you can actually browse some of the courses, the soft skill courses that are free. All right, so for us, we have, like I told us, there are some that are discounted based on the understanding that we have for them. And you can go through any of these ones now. UNICAF, we are in partnership with UNICAF, and you can get up to 75% scholarship where you gain admission into any of the schools they represent through us. James Lind Institute. Now, the reason I am sharing these websites with you is you can go to them, look at any course you want that they have, check the cost, the price, and then come back to us, ask us, you saw this course on so and so website, how much is it through Havron? And then you will know that what we say we are doing is actually so. This is for life, Save a Life scheme for about, that's cardiac professionals. This National Healthcare Provider Solution, Save a Life. So you can also visit this site to explore their offerings and their fees. However, you need to be careful that you do not apply via their site, because if you apply, the fees that is applicable on the website is what you will pay. You will not enjoy the benefits of the group discount, which Havron enjoys. So with that, I thank you for your patience and listening. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, over.
Thank you very much, Samson. And unfortunately, we don't have sound to have an exchange back and forth. Thanks for that video. At least I can see a cross-section of the audience in the conference center. And warm greetings, everyone. And thank you all. I don't know if the president or Dr. Jame, is there any way we can get any feedback immediately? Otherwise, we will stop at this point because our 30 minutes is up. And we thank you so much for the attention. And if there are questions, please feel free to put them either in the Kames Farm WhatsApp group, or you can reach me directly, and then we can provide additional information as necessary. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a good and fruitful convention. Bye-bye.
Emmanuel, are we expecting questions or?
Not sure, I can't hear.
Maybe can they let us know by the chat? Please, can you send us a chat so we know what to expect? Are you going to share your questions later to Emmanuel so that we can exhaust it and get back to you? Or how do you want it to go?
Hello? Yeah.
Making this time to talk to us. So we are very, very happy. And we're happy we've been able to see the audience as well. We are going to summarize the questions and send to you via WhatsApp.
Sounds very good. Sounds very good. Something you can hear, right? The President Ula is online.
All right. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So, all right, thanks. So I am looking forward to having a good number of you on board. I'm going to share with Ima a couple of some programs that are coming up. He can share with you, and then we can have opportunity to learn more. So thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for that feedback. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll sign off and have a good deliberation. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.